Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play the Sexy Brutale. Last time we prevented the murder of Tequila Belle. Oh, and we're getting this screen right away. This is Grayson, the Lightfinger Locksmith, and Red Rockridge, the Gentle Goliath. So, Red's mask is so cool. One of the better ones, along with Willow's. I think... Oh, we're getting this again? This is new, right? No, this is the dialogue from before. Huh. That's weird how that save worked for that checkpoint. I think Grayson's is one of the rare misses. It's a pretty bog standard mask with just a big dumb lock, a padlock on the back of it. So as always, we start the day off with the announcement of the show that the Marquis is inviting us to. Keep that in mind, there's a spiky box. So we have nothing to do right now except check things in the environment. Oh, this is a Carrington statue with an imperfection. Oh, and they're here. Nothing to do but look for them, I was gonna say. But now, we're just gonna observe. We know when they die. We're given that piece of information as a freebie. And they're looking for something called the Moloch egg. I love how at this point the whole lighting scheme in this part of the mansion changes. We also see a sparkling vase, but because we're trying to track these two pretty carefully and pay attention to their dialogue, we're not going to interact with that just yet. Oh, Thanos. I can just imagine him now, so pleased with himself. Hiding a safe behind a picture, what an idea. No young whippersnapper, damn it. The voice was wrong. No young whippersnapper would think to look behind the painting. And there's a safe that he has successfully cracked. No one else on Earth could probably crack that lock. So yeah, in his bio, that short little description in the title card, I should say, he was the Lightfinger Locksmith. And the Rockridges have something of a reputation for being brutes. This one's the Goliath. And that trail of blue dust or flame, whatever that is, the blue footprints, they're spectral footprints left behind by a ghost whom we cannot interact with yet. We could get past the initial 3 ghosts guarding the entrance to this part of the mansion once we had Willow's mask, but that's because there's a voodoo candle that was already lit for us, I believe. There is a second component to Willow's power that we don't have access to just yet. Well, we could have just gotten access to it, but I'm trying to keep up with their dialogue. There was mention of a lighter. This is a small spoiler. The lighter is in that safe, and we'll go grab that in a bit. So this appears to be the egg that they were looking for. There's spikes all around, electric pylons. Look at that, giant Tesla coils in each corner of the stage. But yeah, we need the lighter to light the voodoo skulls so that we can actually see and interact with ghosts in the room. So we know that's going to be playing a part. We saw the glass vase, and we got the mask from Tequila that can shatter those. Although that doesn't play a critical role in this intervention. That's only for a collectible, which is really odd. You would think they would want to incorporate that into a puzzle right away, but we don't actually use Tequila's mask for anything important just yet. Oh, and there's a first glimpse of a servant for this sequence. He just rushes in as soon as Grayson goes to put his hands on the egg and inspect it. Grayson seems to have had his hands clamped to the egg. Servant runs in, locks the gate, turns the power on. So the entire, like, all the bars are electrified now. His hands are trapped, so the locksmith, or the safe cracker, can't free himself, can't reach his lockpicks. Can't get to my fucking lockpicks. And in the meantime, we're standing by this door, and we see not one but two servants are passing by. So this gives us a good idea of where everyone is at, in like the general area at all times. It's pretty much, this is a central hub room, and then everyone just kind of circles the rooms around this. By the way, now we know what the Marqui show is. It's 7 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock, and this is the show. It was supposed to be a death-defying escape act from a magician. It's turned into a deadly trap thanks to the servants. So this doesn't actually tell us how he's gonna die. We just know that he's gonna die real soon, but Red is gonna go first. Also, I like the... there we go. I love the naming convention here, red and gray. The spikes of death descend. Spikes of what? And now things get really desperate. There's a switch backstage, maybe that'll shut it down. Alright, so he's gonna run off to the right. By the way, we can occupy this room, because it's technically considered a discrete room from the stage. If we were to walk up the stairs onto the stage, that's its own room, and that's the room that red and gray occupy. But if we're down below the stage, even though it looks like the same room, we can be in it at the same time as them. So red is throwing the switch over and over. We can see it's not doing anything, so there's some component missing here. And we know that Gray is about to die to the spikes. Red, throwing this switch, probably thinks that he has turned the electricity off. And he's quite wrong. Yeah, this game gets dark. It gets pretty dark. For how stylized and upbeat and just strange it tends to be, it gets dark. So with both of them gone, we have no one to tail at this point, so we can come get the lighter. And we actually don't have a lot of time to work with before we automatically restart the day. So we'll come in here real quick, use Tequila's resonant frequency to smash that vase and get a card. It's the King of Hearts. And then we'll quickly shuffle our way back into the room with the clock, because that's where the candle was, and the ghost is not in this room. Shit. Hopefully this counts for adjacent rooms. I don't think it does. Ghost should be in the north room near the stage. We have about 20 minutes. Nah, the ghost isn't gonna cooperate. So we're gonna have to do an extra short loop. That's fine, because I can just fast forward to 8 o'clock, grab the lighter from the safe again, and come back and reset one more time after we talk to the ghost. Alright, so this is actually the first time that we are going to formally see this mechanic. This is going to become more necessary for later puzzles. Yeah, let's just go all the way to 8 p.m. Pretty sure they have the safe open in the room unoccupied by 4, but we'll do 8 just to be safe. We're not planning on being able to save them on this run through anyway. We're still just gathering information because we're clearly missing some things. Like why flipping the switch didn't turn the power off. And we also might want to tail the servants, because we don't really know what they were up to or why this plan took 2 of them, or where they even came from. First things first, though, let's light the candle. And hopefully the ghost is nice. Hey, he is. He's pathing back here now. You there, lackey. You go and tell those bloody idiots to turn the power back on? They've been buggering about with the electrics in the basement. We got some secret information about a hidden switch behind the bookshelf in the upper right room. It's wired up from the Big Magician Show. He was such a fan of disappearing acts. Great love for drama. Okay, so we're gonna rush into that room and probably not succeed at saving them, but we're at least gonna see what's behind the bookcase, what this switch does. Just as soon as Red is out of the room. Oh, and also you can see here that at about 8:45 is when he starts desperately trying to throw the switch over and over for like 10 minutes. Which is more important than you might realize. So we hit that, power's back on. You hit the switch with the power back on and still nothing happens. So again, we're missing a key critical piece of information. A piece of information that we can probably gather by tailing the servants. We know that they can't really have been anywhere on the right side of the room, or the right series of rooms. They only one of them only briefly appears by the stage, so we have a pretty good idea of where they're going, or where they're gonna be at some point. We can narrow down where in the mansion they are. First, I'm gonna hit the switch, turn the power back on in this room again. And we won't bother actually hitting the switch. We'll pass through this hallway for the first time and grab another card, the 5 of clubs. It's interesting that the collectibles are all playing cards, given that that's also the motif for the servants. They all have, what do you call those? The suits and card numbers. And we come to a dead end. Mirrors polished to a dazzling shine. Complete dead end here. There are no other rooms that we have not been in. And we haven't come across the servants, even though we've narrowed all this down. So we are at a bit of an impasse, huh? Couldn't have timed that any better. Good job. So now we know something new about the servants. Huh. That changes quite a bit. This power they have. This one's the 9 of Hearts and his buddy. Power diverted to the cage? Exactly. I love the way these two talk. All of the servants are so distinct from one another, too. And you don't realize it at first. The stage, ready. The trap, set. The plan, perfect. Oh, here they come. We're gonna try to stay ahead of them. I don't think they stopped to talk in that room. Yep, they're just heading straight here. And this will put us in the room with the switch, and luckily there is a closet for us to climb into. Which is good news, because they're on their way in. And this room is directly left of the stage. And so we can tell that that door on the right is the one that one of the servants rushes through to lock the cage door once Grayson touches the egg. For now, they're doing what we've been doing. Just watching and waiting and observing. Spying through the keyhole. Suspicion? Oblivious. The bait? Tempting. Oh, what are they saying? They're speaking in hushed whispers now. Trapped. They don't want Grayson over here. Or Red, for that matter. Right, so there he goes. So we know exactly what's happening on stage right now. We're still a little bit stuck as to why we can't turn the power off. Although we see another switch in this room. I think we hit that on our way through. But again, it didn't do anything. Sensational. It's a lovely word. I do not use it enough. The other one is absent. Is there a problem? An irrelevance. Show will start in 1 hour. It's now 6 o'clock. Yeah, this is a Marqui's big show. Once again, we're going to tail him back to the mirror. Oh, yeah, this line. Stupid, stupid fart joke. That's just made kind of cute because of how they talk. I was just gonna stay one step behind him. Music's starting up. We got 5 minutes till showtime, and it's 7. I wonder how many people, much younger than myself who picked this game up struggled with it because of the analog clock. Like, oh Jesus, saying this phrase. By the way, you'd have to pull both switches on opposite ends at the exact same time. And we know what time he's going to be pulling the switches because we observed him earlier. It's about 8:45, between 8:45 and 9. But do younger people still know how to tell time with analog clocks? Is that a skill that's just kind of dying? Also, there were 3 servants in that cabal. Shelf contains blueprints, complex traps. Hey, Lucas. Also, Thanos. We have a couple minutes to kill. It's now 8:30. Also, remember what happened when when we hit the switch? It flashed green for a bit as we were pulling it. So that's our cue. We're meant to pick up on that small detail on top of tailing red. So when it turns green, that means on the opposite side of the stage, he's pulling the other switch. So as long as we pull it at the same time as him, we shut the power off. And that's the whole solution. Now that he's not going to be electrocuted, he's strong enough to just rip this goddamn door open. And also, the restraints. Forgot what a total brute you are. Ah, that's better. Oh, I love hearing the remixed main theme in this song. It's the leitmotif. Dun, 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 dun. Come on, Red, the bar is calling. It's quite enough drama for one day. And so the one who leaves his mask behind for us is the safe cracker. And what do you know? There are locks abound in this mansion. So suddenly, this opens up quite a lot. And hey, the lady in red who pushed us out the window. Boone. He was here, wasn't he? Then why? Probably referring to the man in the golden mask. And sure enough, Grayson's light-fingered touch allows us to crack physical safes. He's a very talented safe cracker. Uses gifts to create many of the systems in the mansion. You'll not find many locks that can keep their secrets from you now. Not many, but some. You have to go. Now remember, in case you're at a loss for where to go next, there was one more feature of that cage aside from the egg in it. And all the Tesla coils electrifying the outer edges of it. There was a trapdoor that you can not only see but multiple characters mention. It was part of the escape act. The curtain goes down while the spikes lower, and the magician goes through the trapdoor to get out. Death-defying escape. And because we have the lock-picking skills now, probably the servants locked it, so there was no possibility of escape. Now that we have that ability, though, we can break the lock on the trapdoor and come down into this basement level. Also, I love this Killer 7 reference! And we get the Three of Spades and a collection of stories about talking animals. Thinking of a dragon. It's either a master expressionist druid or a small child. That took a second to load in. Oh, and you can already tell where this ladder is gonna lead. This leads into that room that we peered into much earlier. Yeah, things are connecting now. Empty keg, what smells like brandy? Oh! We're getting this pretty quick. Thanos, Gareki, the Blueprint Prince, and Aram Runes, the Midas Giant. Now, I do believe that we caught a glimpse of those two before. In the very first... Oops, there's someone in here. In fact, I believe that was Thanos. Yeah, very early on in the game, we briefly saw them. Statue's right where he said it would be. We're gonna resolve all that at some point recently. What's your poison bar? That's really good. Especially because we know from earlier that the drinks are made with actual poison. And again, things have connected. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one.